World Baseball Classic ended with a classic game. Trout versus Ohtani.
Wow.
Japan wins. USA manager Mark DeRosa said after the game, quote, "The baseball world won tonight." Japan officially won, but baseball world also won. Brew, what can other leagues learn from the World Baseball Classic?
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, sure.
Since you were supposed to ask me and then you wanted to respond to what I was going to say. First of all, our colleague Colin Cowherd, 2 years ago, tried to get baseball to do a Better Than Babe promotion for Ohtani. Mm-hmm. It's never too late for a good idea. And I read one of the kind of analytically inclined Twitter feeds say that Ohtani, just as a pitcher, would be worth 8 years, $200 million, and just as a hitter would be worth 10 years, $300 million. And then you put them together and you're looking at over $500 million. And you called that this could be the ending. Ohtani coming on relief, getting Trout, it was unbelievable. Yeah. But what I think this showed us was people are into games with the best in the world for stakes the players care about.
Facts.
And what did we just see in what used to be, because this is an exhibition, but not really, it matters to these guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What did we just see from what used to be the best exhibition in sports, the All-Star Game in the NBA? It was a disaster. It was embarrassing for everyone involved.
Horrible.
The NBA, once upon a time for the Rising Stars competition, Brew, did the U.S. versus the world. Let's do that for the actual All-Star Game. This is what it would, by my 55-player pyramid, this is what the 12-team rosters would have looked like this year. Can we show it to you? This is what the world has: great bigs, and then, you know, the very Chris Stapps and Franz Wagner and Anunoby, but still Jamal Murray's nice.
I like the world.
At the top, but still the U.S. has more depth. Whatever it is, the question is this, Brew: would the guys take it seriously? Would there be pride on the line? And would we get a better game? I think the answer to all those things are yes.
I think that is a tremendous idea. Now, obviously, we've heard of this idea, but to play it off the WBC was great. I love it. Now, look, I do think this and you're into the history, as am I. So I do think for historical purposes,
they should name All-Stars.
You name a regular All-Star team like we always do. Have the fans vote, media, all that stuff. But then that's just for the honor, right? Then you pick this. And if our American players, and I don't think they would, but if they went out there and lollygagged, because I know the world team wouldn't. I mean, Giannis tries to play hard. Giannis tries to play hard in the regular All-Star game. Nobody else wants to, right? They would take it seriously. Our Americans would end up taking it seriously. Now, look, we might lose, and we got to be willing to accept that. But I love that idea.
Listen, here's the thing. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, the other big thing here, besides the caring, like the guys really cared.
Yes.
Ohtani said it's the best day of his life. Mike Trout said it was like an honor to be your captain.
Trout finally got a big at bat.
Yeah. He didn't perform. But,
you're right about that.
Guys really cared. So that's kind of the foundation of it all. The other thing is, we're 8 games out before the Angels start. They play the Athletics next Thursday. The idea of having a preseason game that really matters. So I think one of the problems with the NBA All-Star Game is guys want the break. Guys need the break. Maybe you could do something before the season and really raise the stakes, and then maybe that rest is not a factor.
I think that'll make the regular season, they'll be a bit worn down. You know, I don't think you want something that competitive, because this is just one game. You know, it's baseball, too. It's a little different. They play more games.
But guys are playing. But can I just push back on that? There's so much of a concern on load management, and football's its own thing, but in basketball, man, guys are still on pitch counts. You think the Angels are thrilled that Ohtani's throwing 100 miles an hour? It's just guys got hurt, but they cared about it. It was really good.
If Adam Silver thinks guys will care about a midseason tournament, then I gotta believe you think they can care about one game like this.
But this is also to where, if you guys remember after the All-Star game, I put some of the onus on some of the responsibility in the All-Star game being awful on the media, because we have made it all about the destination, none about the journey. It's all about, did you win a ring? Did you win a ring? The media treated this tournament seriously.
Yes.
And it was a big moment for Ohtani and a big moment for Trout. And while it was tragic for Diaz and the Mets and that situation, there were other injuries as well.
Altuve got hurt.
Those things happen. Altuve, as you mentioned, it was nobody feels like you feel if someone gets hurt in the NFL Pro Bowl where it's like, oh my God, totally meaningless because we treated it seriously. There does have to be an element of those of us who kind of help shape opinion, if you will, deciding whether or not we're going to give guys credit if they kick ass in an all-star game. You know what I mean? If they, or are we just going to say, oh, it doesn't matter if the team didn't end up making the finals or winning a championship? If we treat it seriously, I think the athletes will follow suit to a degree because so much of it, what we hear from today's NBA guy is media criticism. But whether they should be listening or not, they are, and it's a lot of media.
I agree with what you're saying, but don't you think just on the face of this, if it's USA versus international in the All-Star game next year, I think guys will take that seriously.
I think so too.
I think they'll take it seriously.
I also think they should
play for the way you're representing the world.
Yeah, the world.
Yeah.
The world.
You don't think they would like to beat the Americans?
I know, but it's just, I think it's different when you're playing for Venezuela versus representing the world. Now, if we played Martians, I think then it would be okay. But I'm just saying.
All right, well,
if I'm Giannis, I'm representing the world.
The world. The world.
You spent the entire last break talking about what's realistic, and then you bring up the Martians?
Martians, come on.